Hello everyone, and welcome back for our next session of Musicality Mondays. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about beats of music. I'm going to be referencing Cha Cha quite a bit today, but what we're discussing is when we think of music, we hear our teachers constantly saying 5, 6, 7, 8, count you into the music, right? And when we count, we tend to say 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the beat of the song. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So those beats are here, right? Now, interestingly, though, what we don't tend to talk about is the fact that there's beats in between these numbers here. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in Cha-Cha, when we count, right, I'm just going to go to the next page here. See, these are our beats in between. When I'm tapping 1, when my pen comes up, that's end, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. You're kind of wondering what's the deal with all these things? Why do I need to know this? Well, here's the important thing. When we dance our cha-cha, we use these beats. We use 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, end. So we're using beat end in our cha-cha to actually step. The 4 end is actually our cha-cha when we're dancing, okay? Now, the reason that this is important is because we have spins, we have turns, we have hip action, we have all these things that need to happen. And when we're stepping, those things can't happen while we're stepping. So those things are happening in between when our feet hit the floor. So even though we don't count these numbers generally out loud, we don't say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we don't say that. When we dance cha-cha, we count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and. But knowing that these beats exist will allow you to swivel, to switch your hip, to turn. It'll allow you to do all these things. So for example, just so you can see this, right? When I dance my cha-cha, right, I have 1 and, the settling of my hip, 2 and 3 and, then my 4 and I'm actually stepping, then I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I have things to do. Even when I spin, I would step 2 and 3 and. So there's things happening on these beats. Now, just to blow your mind a little bit more here. Then we have, here it comes, this. Whoa, what are all these things, right? What is this? All these red things on here. Now, when we're counting, there's also beats in between the ends, which is 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Probably wondering, oh my God, why do I need to know that those beats exist? Again, a couple of reasons, because when I'm doing my cha-cha, my 4 end, sometimes there's still things that has to happen in between that 4 end. There's 4 hip, step, hip, step. That would be 4 E and It's crazy to think that there's all these extra beats in here. This should also help you realize you have more time than you think while you're dancing. Right? When we first started, we just started with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we said, wait, we have these beats in between. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we said, oh, there's even more. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. There's all these extra beats going on now. Just for example, when we count our East Coast swing, we count 1, a 2, 3, a 4. We use those beats in there. That's what gives us that up, that little bit of a jump, that little bit of a bounce while we're dancing, right? Whereas in cha-cha, we're using the end beat, which is right smack in the middle, which is what keeps that dance nice and flat. There's no up, there's no bounce going on while we're dancing. Now, just to go into detail about this a little bit further, right? If we were using 4/4 timing, and I'll get into that another day, the idea is that when we're dancing, when we use that 1, 2, 3, 4, those are our quarter notes when we're dancing. Those beats are nice and spaced in between the measure if you were looking at a sheet of music. Then when we use our ends, right, we're attaching an extra beat in there. So 1 end. Those would be considered our eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We actually put these things together while we're dancing. And this is a really cool thing to sort of see actually drawn out on paper. If somebody actually took out a piece of sheet music for you, right, and I simply just drew my 4 beats, right, these would be my quarter notes, right? That would be my 1, 2, 3, 4. Then all of a sudden, I attach another thing to that. We use our end beats going on in between, right? And now we've attached this extra beat. Those are our eighth notes, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I have to put these other 2 beats attached to this, right? So now all of a sudden, instead of having my eighth notes, I'm gonna have what we call 16th notes. There we are. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So this is actually seeing your beats on music, right? These top ones, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then that beat in the middle, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then our 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. It's a very cool thing when you start realizing how much your dancing has to do with music and counts while you're going. There's so much more detail to get into. What I said before about 4/4 timing, where there's 4 beats in a measure and a quarter note gets the beat, right? That doesn't apply to waltz. Just as a quick little side note, waltz is a 3/4 timing, meaning there's 3 beats in a measure and your quarter note gets the beat. And all of these things, they're just so cool when you start realizing, wow, the more somebody kind of helps me understand music a little bit and what I'm actually hearing, right? Different instruments are doing different things. The vocals are doing different things. Not everybody is doing the same thing. There is a bass in the back or a drum in the back that's keeping that heavy. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have other instruments. In cha-cha, there's this instrument, and the name of it just escapes me right now. I'm sorry. It looks like a little wheel attached to a stick, and it's got all these balls going around it. And somebody who's a musician, I'm sure, will chime in, I hope, on the comments. And you hear in the background this that's your 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3. That's your cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha going on in the back that keeps us there. Now, I do get fielded the question quite a bit from people saying, how come cha-cha's not counted 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, like I learned it? And the reason is the music. When you're listening to the music, the cha-cha-cha, right, or your 4 and 1, is happening on those beats of the music. It's happening on the 2 and 3, 4 and 1. And that's simply why we don't count cha-cha 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. I will go into huge detail on this next week. But again, the music is what's dictating why we're not dancing 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. It's the same reason why in mambo we break on beat 2 and instead of beat 1. It's the music that's telling us what we're supposed to be doing. So again, there's so much more that goes into it, but I hope you enjoyed our next session on Musicality Mondays. Enjoy your day, and I look forward to seeing you back here on Tuesdays for our Technique Tuesday. And you can also visit my website, lisasparklesdance.com, for more information on our virtual group classes and how to contact me for private lessons. Thank you.